in, has no battery source, okay? So both cords need plugged in. This cord right here, if this isn't all the way plugged in, it's not going to work. So it's one of those troubleshooting things. Why isn't it on? I don't know. I gotta check this, make sure this plugged in. So, see, hear the hum? That means it's gonna work, okay? This is the power source for this, all right? This is the rapid infuser part of it. This is what's gonna make the fluids squeeze in and go in faster, okay? So this part right here is what warms it. It's already set up to the exact temperature that it needs to be. You have to turn it on, okay? The on switch is right here. It lights up. That's how you know it's on, okay? Now this is pretty much, this part of it's ready to go. You hear it humming. So you're gonna get your tubing out. First thing we're gonna do with our tubing is we're going to clamp some of these off, because if you spike a bag of blood with this, the tubing's pretty wide, so it's gonna go through pretty quickly, okay? So do some of your clamps, that's fine. And you're gonna go through, there's 900 clamps on this, you guys. You're gonna go through and you see all these connectors? There's a bunch of them throughout the tubing. They're not always secure. Go through, tighten them down, okay? Because I'm not kidding you, this is a lot of pressure. Look at all these. If you miss one, there's many ways for blood to explode all over the place. That's one of them. Ask CAT scan from the other day.
That's where it always happens to CAT scan.
Yep. So make sure that you have tight connections, okay? Then, before you spike anything, you need to insert your cassette, okay? So, we're gonna put our cassette in. That is a bladder. If you spike your blood or fluid before you put this cassette in, you'll never get it in because it blows up, okay? So, that goes in first. Then you can spike your fluids. Now, you don't have to prime this with saline. I normally do. You don't have to. You can prime it with blood, okay? So, now you have to go through the process of opening all the clamps up. You're gonna open up all your clamps, okay? This can sit up here. There's many ways for air to collect in these chambers, so you don't really have to worry about giving your patient a big air bolus, okay? You want to keep an eye on it, but you don't really have to worry about it. So, you prime your tubing, you get it all up and running. If you're going and you open everything that you think you've got everything open and nothing's coming through, it's because you've missed a clamp somewhere, okay? So, open up everything, prime it. This is already warming. So, once you're ready to go, you hook up to your patient. You need to have at least, I would say, a 20 to an 18 gauge IV if you're doing this peripherally. You need to have a good IV. It's not one of those like, oh, I think it's okay. Oh, I've looked at it several times. It's kind of working. No, you're gonna blow your vein, okay? This is high pressure. So, central lines are really the easiest to use if you have that luxury, but at least an 18 gauge works nice. So, you're gonna hook it up to your patient. These doors open, and then you put your fluids in. Now, another way for blood to explode. You know those little temperature gauge things on the back of the blood? They're little discs. Okay, so if you put that in here and blow this up, that has the chance to puncture your bag of blood. Then guess what? It's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the room, okay? So, take those things off the back, make sure there's nothing on your bag of blood, okay? So, put your blood in, close it up, and then, whichever one you're gonna use, so I like to alternate between one and the other. So you turn the one off that you're not gonna use, your clamp here, and then you open the one that you are gonna start dumping the fluids or blood into, okay? So, this is how you turn it on. That starts blowing it up, okay? So, you make sure everything's open. You watch your fluids. You drop your bag of blood in, and then while that's going, you can get the other bag of blood going, okay? So, it's up here, it's ready to go. When this is all done, I turn this off, turn the clamp off, open this clamp, turn this one on. So, you can really drop quite a bit of blood or fluids into a patient pretty quickly because it's one person to manage this really. So you got one bag going, you're done, start the other one, you can flip this over. This tubing is good for a long time. I don't think that there's like a limit on how many bags you can give through this. I mean, you can do a whole massive transfusion for sure, and that's 6 units of blood. So, afterwards, you're done with your blood. I like to put at least a 500 bag of fluid on here, normal saline, LR, whatever, and flush that blood through because these are this huge tubing. So there's a lot of blood still left in here. You want to make sure your patient gets all the goodie out of it, okay? All right.